She's back on tour. She's a champion again. Yeah! The legend. Here's Shannon O'Keefe. Incredible. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
The quest to royalty. I like that very much. Nicely done by Tennille Milligan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the National Bowling Stadium, Reno, Nevada, as match play. Top 64 bowlers after 15 games of qualifying now go head-to-head, 3-game total pinfall matches. We'll have 3 of them for you as we begin on 49 and 50 with Shannon O'Keefe and Karen Marcano. Emil Williams Jr. with Jason Thomas. We're on 51 and 52, Dina Buxton and Dasha Kovalova. And on 53 and 54, Erin McCarthy and Brianna Zabirik. O'Keefe, the number 2 seed, taking on the 63rd seeded Karen Marcano. Of course, you watched Karen earn that spot and roll off last night with Nina Flack and Shannon Sellens. Sellens also advanced into the field of 64, of course, taking on the top seed Jenny Wegner of Sweden. And that is going on 47 and 48. So today is the day certainly for your live scoring links. Be sure to use it so you can check out all of the matches that we do not have, of course, and there are some very good ones here in the first round. Dasha Kovalova, she led this event after the first 2 days, taking on Dina Buxton. Kovalova, the number 3 seed, Buxton, the 62nd seed. Erin McCarthy had a standout day on the lanes yesterday. She had the high qualifying block of the day, and that moved her up to the number 4 seed, taking on again Brianna Zabirik, former Nebraska Cornhusker collegiate standout. Match play underway always presents a unique and different challenge. We know that no matter what happens in game 1, the match is not over. You have to go all 3 games. I mean, literally in many cases to the final ball is thrown. I personally think at least round 1 here, our opening matches might be a little on the higher scoring side. Saw a lot of players playing 5 and out, especially on the right side. Of those who looked pretty comfortable and perhaps their A game, maybe going up the lane, playing 5 and out, looked pretty darn good and comfortable early. We'll see how things tend to shake out. JT, you've seen a lot of Queens and Masters formats, of course, and events in your day.
So are you saying I'm old?
Not necessarily.
I would agree with it if you are.
Not necessarily. Although, I mean, you might have a few different colors of hair going on. I mean,
I do if I let it grow out. Yeah, I don't. Shannon O'Keefe's not someone I would want to draw right now. She's got a really nice look on the fresh. Um, we saw Karen Marcano last night in the roll-off, sneaking in to the top 64, and her reward was getting to bowl, maybe the hottest player on tour right now, Shannon O'Keefe.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Shannon actually missed the cut here at the Queens, and she was obviously not happy, certainly at that time, but it's something that she has kept kind of in the back of her mind. And just, understanding it, it's not a guarantee, that you're going to make the top 64, certainly every year, so you got to make sure you go out and attack it. She did that during qualifying.
Well, it cost her Player of the Year that year, missing the cut in this tournament. She had a great year. I think she won twice, maybe three times.
3 times.
And because she missed the cut here, it cost her because the points are more valuable here at the Queens. And her goal, she said at the beginning of the year, was Player of the Year. So she definitely didn't want to miss the cut, obviously. But not only that, but she qualified second. So I mean, she's bowling great this year.
Look at it. Brianna Zabirik actually had some successes at the USBC Women's Championships and off to a nice 3-bagger. Again, playing out. Ball speed looked a little slower. Karen Marcano started to move out towards the end of practice. She can play very well up the lane, as you can see right now.
The good news for Karen is that Shannon should, in theory, she's throwing a little more surface and playing a little further to the right, and so that should make the lanes a little easier for Karen. And I think there's a lot of pressure when you qualify high in this tournament. And Karen's really got nothing to lose. I mean, she was one step from death's door yesterday.
Absolutely.
And so it's a dangerous match for Shannon.
Early 4-bagger for Zabirik. Yeah, I think you're certainly correct on. It does seem like there's an added layer, although, from a player perspective, obviously you try not to let that even become a factor in your mind, but it's there. So the top seed, in any bracket style format where there's seeding, if you're a higher seed, the expectation is there that you should win.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Shannon is that she's not one of the players that can't jump left, right, when they start to hook. She can chase it just as well as anybody. But Karen, that's more of her natural game. She has more axis rotation. She is a little softer with her speed. She likes to see the ball break a little sharper on the back part of the lane. We saw that last night with the little adjustment she made. Looked in practice like she didn't have much of a look, and she made a subtle hand and speed adjustment and ended up running away with the spot. So, and she also shot 235 the last game of qualifying to get there.
We should have just based it on that.
I know. We did mention it, and then we said, well, we can't base anything on that.
Well, we based it on what we saw during practice, but again, a lot of things can be seen in practice. A lot of things can change after practice. I think it's the same situation here. This is also a situation where, depending on the player and strategies and whatnot, you can try to, break a pair down in your favor. At least give yourself an opportunity, a chance. And but so far early, and I don't think intentionally. I just think that because of the pattern, pocket 7-10 there for Zabirik. players can get comfortable early, maybe with a low surface, as we've seen so far from many of the players. And also kind of similar to what we've seen on the fresh throughout qualifying also. I think Dasha really, she's been in the same zone from whether it's burn or fresh. Some other notable matches, if you're curious about the defending champion here, Diana Zavjalova. She did qualify 20th, and she is taking on Clara Guerrero on 33 and 34. So you can check that out on live scoring. I mean, and honestly, every match almost in the bracket of the opening round draws here are pretty tough and interesting.
Yeah, you don't want to draw Clara Guerrero on the fresh.
No. I mean, and at the same time, if you're looking at it from Clara's point of view, I get to bowl Diana in the first round. You know, that's not ideal, of course, as well.
Well, you know, you got to think a little bit about. I think if you're in the top 5, you might feel like, you know, hey, I'm in the top 5 here, and I draw. Let's use Diana as an example.
Sure.
Let's say she qualified 60th.
Sure.
Or maybe she missed the cut and she got thrown in at 64th, and you're the number 1 seed, and now you got to bowl Diana. But once you're beyond, you know, 5 or 6 in qualifying, it's just like whatever. You just draw who you draw. But I think with those top 5 seeds, there's a little bit of a feeling of pressure, or you know, if you're going to go, hey, this is bad luck that I'm drawing this person. That's where your mind can go. But you know what? You beat 5 people, you're on the show. I think that's the attitude you kind of have to have.
Yeah, that is the best way to look at it, as opposed to which it can be done. But we talked prior to the broadcast. The losers of these first round matches here will then have to win 10 matches. Is that correct?
Right.
Through the
That is
contenders
right.
bracket to win, or excuse me, to get to TV.
I've only seen it happen one time where a player, and it may have happened more than that, but I've only seen it personally once. At the Senior Masters, Walter Ray lost his first match and ended up bowling for the title.
Another interesting match of note, and if you're talking about the future of the PWBA Tour, then Jordan Richard versus Daria Payuk would interest you. A lot of rev rate in that match. That'd be one where you'd be interested to see where they start.
Well, I feel sorry for the players that have to bowl on that pair next. You know, it's probably going to be, you know, 2 low rev rate players, and they're going to get, what happened on this pair? Why is there no hold?
Shot there from Aaron McCarthy. Of course, Aaron has had some success here at the USBC Queens.
That's right. She was runner-up in 2015. Lost to Liz Johnson.
Uh, 2015 saw a lot of different scenarios, and you know, we look at a lot of the players who we now see as on a normal basis, in a sense, like Birgit Poplar, for example, had some good success both 15 and 16. Obviously, in 16, she made the show and finished 5th, but I think 2015 was that introduction, so to speak.
Yeah, I think she led qualifying that year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this match here, Karen and Shannon, is shaping up to be a high-scoring match. So whoever loses is probably going to be disappointed. But I think the attitude you have to have is that the scores are relative to the pair you're bowling on and who you're bowling. So it's really not fair for your mind to go, hey, I shot 720 and I lost, and this woman shot 520 and she won. It's really more dependent on how the pair's broken down, and if you had bowled on that pair, maybe you would have shot 530 as well. So it's just relative to what's going on the pair at the time.
He had 3 games total pinfall. Shot there from O'Keefe. How important is it to not overthink in this type of format where you could potentially, want to strategize and practice and that kind of thing, but sometimes it's you just use what you have, what the lane's giving you, what the ball's telling you to do. How important or hard or difficult not to overthink certain things like that.
Yeah, I think with the men, there's a lot more variation in styles than there are with the women. So I think that strategy comes into play a lot more. There are some of the women that, like Daria, for example, she has to decide, hey, do I want to play right, where my competitor likes to play, or should I just get left of them and play where I'm comfortable and hopefully the residue of that is that you're making it tougher for them to set something up that they like. So there's a little bit of strategy involved. And it also depends on what you think the other player has in terms of a look. If you're bowling somebody that's shot 3 straight 750s and they're playing out, you want to try to force them off of that line as much as you can. So there's some of that goes into play, but I think because the styles out here are a lot more similar from player to player, you tend to just see them going out and trying to bowl their best, play their A game, play where they're comfortable, and just kind of let execution become the determining factor in the match.
That word was mentioned throughout qualifying, especially on the fresh, being able to execute shots.
Yeah, they're not the most difficult pattern we've seen on tour, but they're definitely demanding. There's some score out there. There's some pairs that are better than others. We heard a lot of the players over the course of qualifying say pair to pair. They're tricky, but obviously in the matches you don't have to change pairs. You can get comfortable on a pair, and if it's a pair that you like, you can shoot a big score. If it's not, then you basically are gonna look and see what your opponent's doing and base your plan on that. It's a high-scoring match here. Zubera can shoot 235 with one more strike, and McCarthy can shoot 248 if she takes it off the sheet. 233 for Bree. And Erin McCarthy was our leader yesterday. Shot the high qualifying score, which you wouldn't expect maybe a little bit because it was fresh for everybody, right? And if you look at Erin McCarthy, you say, well, she's a player that is going to have more success on the burn. But bodes well for her that she had such a good day yesterday on the fresh. Because once we get into this next round, if she can make it through this round, I mean, everybody makes it through this round. But if she can make it through this round winning, she'll get the bowl on some burn, which you think she would have even more of an advantage at that point.
I mean, I don't know. Looking at the scores, but you're right, 100%. She bowled on the burn early in the tournament, but her two highest blocks have been on the fresh.
Yeah, and it's not what you'd expect from Erin McCarthy.
And not just high, I mean 1144, 1190.
Yeah.
Including she went 278, 279 to end the day yesterday.
Yeah, and that's more what you'd expect, that she would get her pins later in the block. But the fact that she's been able to have success on the fresh bodes well for her the rest of the tournament. So 217 for Karen Marcano. Good solid game. O'Keefe can punch for 247. So big shot here. Wow. Lucky just to leave the 1-2-4-8 with no 10 pin. McCarthy ended up going off the sheet for 248, so she'll have a 15-pin lead going into game 2. I'm guessing we'll see Shannon try something on the fill ball. I think she knows at some point she's going to have to jump in where Karen is. And I'm sure she'll get a look at something different here for when that has to happen. Yeah, that was a little bit move in and go around it a little bit, and that looked pretty nice. And our third featured match, Dina Buxton, 9th frame. These two moving along a little bit slower.
One match I saw here, Megan Kelly and Tish Johnson. 257, 249. Game 1.
Now you said you didn't want to bowl Tish the first match.
Oh.
And you're right. She shot 249. But she's losing.
She is losing. Nice game from Megan Kelly.
Daria just bowling a good, solid, professional game. Grinding out 2-0. Dina Buxton got off to a rough start and hasn't thrown a double. Daria can go off the sheet for 212. And she'll have a lead no matter what happens. Nice shot there. Wow. Terrible break. Just getting a look at another ball there. Wasn't even going for one of the pins and shoots 188. And that'll give Dina Buxton a chance to close some of that gap going into game 2. It's a hit that's been carrying well this week, the light mixer. And Dina Buxton gets one fall. And it's amazing how quickly things can turn around. Daria throws a great shot, leaves a blower 7-10, and Dina carries the light mixer. And I mean, this could be an 8-pin match going into game 2.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to remain somewhat close. Whether it becomes high scoring in the final 2 games still remains to be seen. You got to believe at some point either or both players will start to feel a little more comfortable on the lanes.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that ball that Shannon's throwing is urethane, because it looks to me like her reaction, she's seeing some carry down. So Buxton with the flat 10, she'll shoot 170 with the spare. 170 for Buxton, and 18-pin lead for Daria Kovalova going into game 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Shannon O'Keefe make that ball change to the one she threw on the fill ball.
It's weird. I mean, you don't have much time to kind of consider options in a sense in this type of format.
Well, that's why you throw that shot on the fill,
Yeah.
just to get, a read so that you're not making the move cold. Uh-oh, that's really bad. Nice shot there from Zbirek. All right, let's see what Shannon O'Keefe does here. Yeah, that was nice. Looks like she just got away from the edge where she was playing and threw that other ball. Make it a little stronger back end motion. Nice. Good move there. You know, when you're bowling well, like Shannon has been lately, it's almost second nature to make the moves. You know, she shot a pretty nice 227 that first game, but she had no issues getting away from what she was doing when she was starting to see something she didn't like. And out here, that's what you have to do.
Rick Barbera just dropped off some standings for us after a game, basically, and they're in match order. So some of the same things, of course, if you're watching live scoring that you've seen. So, for example, Brenda Padilla leading Janie King after game 232-165. Stephanie Casey up over Verity Crawley to one game 192-168. Three-pin match between Maria Jose Rodriguez and Missy Parkin. 199-196. Josie Barnes and Brittany Brown. Josie got out the gates a little slow, 173. Brittany Brown shot 197. High scoring match on 15 and 16. Sydney Brummett and Anna Anderson, 245-224 in that one. Sierra Kanemoto taking on Amanda Fry, with Amanda holding a 35-pin lead early. Giselle Poss Trailing by a lot early. Shannon Pluhowski out the gates with 234 on the left side. Interesting, Amanda Fry, left-hander, shot 233 game one. Pluhowski, left-hander, shot 234 game one.
Are they bowling each other?
They are not,
Okay.
but they are a pair away from each other.
Yeah, quite a few lefties made it into the bracket.
Seen a couple high scores just besides the ones we saw in our immediate area. Liz Johnson and Ida Anderson tied at 235 in their first game matchup. Keep an eye on some scores. O'Keefe.
Yeah, she's dialed in.
10 back.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling when you're bowling well and all your moves work. That one was in, and it held because light mixer, so she's got it all going right now.
Yeah, wasn't sure if that could have been, you know, 4 through the nose, big 4.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely not. I mean, it's not like she yanked
Sure.
it 4 boards, but it was a little in, and she's got a great ball reaction. But you know, 3 frames ago, she didn't have a great ball reaction. She missed right. It was missing the head pin. She got it up, going up a little. It was 4 pin. Now she's got a little room both ways, and Karen Marcano's in big trouble. Shot there for a double.
Well, Marcano is certainly a fighter. She'll be around still to make sure Shannon is working. Good spare there for Dina Buxton.
Well, good news for Karen is that it appears like the pair is set up to be conducive to what she likes to do. So she has a look, but you know how many opportunities is Shannon O'Keefe going to give her? Probably not many. Good shot. Daria Kovalova has made a ball change. She's a lot further left than all the other players we've been watching, and I think she was left on the fresh the last couple of days. So she's been one of the players that haven't been out. I mean, even Erin McCarthy's further right than where Dasha's playing him.
Which is, you know, if you had to take a poll, I'd probably
Yeah, you wouldn't think that.
be expected.
Ooh, stone 9 shot. I mean, I think that's really the only way Karen Marcano is going to be able to stay in this match is if Shannon O'Keefe gets a few bad breaks. But she's right on top of the moves, and so you know, the only thing that's going to stop her are some bad breaks.
The quality shot there for Erin McCarthy.
Yeah, it's a good match there.
Daria struggling a little bit here with the spare ball.
Yeah, she's in the wrong part of the lane. That's just not. She was throwing a more aggressive ball, and she couldn't get the ball to hold, so she went to something a little weaker, a little smoother, and now she's probably got a worse reaction. That was way right, and ball snaps back hard and snaps the 10 out. You know, the problem for Daria now is that she's burned up that middle part of the lane a little bit. So so going back to the right isn't a great option, because now she's burned up the front part to the left. So I think the only option really is to go back to that stronger ball and start from scratch. The good news is that, you know, Dina's not exactly tearing them up. So it's not time to panic just yet. But her look's getting better by the minute, and part of it is because of where Daria started.
That was just an excellent shot, good quality shot there. And you're right, that strategy portion of it, or not the strategy, but where things ended up, of course, because of the beginnings. So it was a big strike in the ninth, but she's going to lose some pins here if McCarthy continues to strike. But Marcano left a 9-pin, same lane as Shannon did.
Aaron McCarthy can really put the heat on Brianna with a couple of strikes here. And it's going to give her a little breathing room.
Ooh, almost trouble.
Yeah, she went back to the stronger ball. That's the right move. Even though it's split.
A lot of match left. We've seen, players kind of get through some troubles in a game 2, for example, and then kind of get right towards frames 9 and 10 and propel them into some good momentum and a good string of strikes potentially in game 3. tell you, if she was able to save 190, somehow that'd go a long way.
Shannon O'Keefe is off to the races. 245 possible for her. It's close. I got a little update on Liz and Ida match. They both shot the same exact score the first two games, 235 and 258 for both of them. So that's going to be an interesting match coming down the stretch. Well, let's see how Zabirak can finish here. McCarthy with 214. Nice shot. That match is going to be within 20 going into the final game. O'Keefe finishes with 231. So that match not over. O'Connor can still go off the sheet for 215. Got a hook. It did, but didn't quite have enough oomph when it got to the pins to kick the 10 out. So Erin McCarthy will have a 19-pin lead going into the final game of that match with Brianna Zabirak.
Dana has looked a few right, but been able to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, it's just interesting to watch these two pairs here, Karen and Shannon, the way they broke the lanes down. They broke them down to the right, and now they've jumped in a little bit. They've got a little room to the right, a little room to the left, and it's the exact opposite on this pair. If these players leak it right, it 2-8-10s, and if they get the ball going up, it doesn't lay off. So it's going to be interesting for the players that come onto this pair next. I guarantee you that it's going to be a low-scoring match. And then conversely, whoever hits this pair next, it's going to be a high-scoring match.
So the queens in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's just relative. Everything's relative. That's a good move. I think she just maybe just soften it up a touch from there, or maybe get around it a little bit more, and she's there.
I mean, you're good for us in a sense that we were able to watch her kind of work her way through the struggles.
Yep. Well, you knew once she missed right with that weaker ball, that was just not going to work. She was trying to give herself some hold, but the problem is they never broke down to the right of that. So anything you miss right is just going to go forever. only issue she's going to run into is because she's so far left with such a strong ball. By the time the ball gets back to the pocket, it's gonna have less energy. So
No carry issues.
yeah. But again, she's not going to need to shoot 700 to win this match. 570 is going to get there. That was in. It's tough to trust it when you know it's not going to make it back.
Yeah, that swing's not loose, certainly. Trying to still figure it out.
And that's not really her game either. Her game is more down the lane. You watch her swing. Her swing kind of bounces out to the right at the top, so it's going to be, more of a down and in type line that she likes to play. I mean, obviously she's a great player, but if you just watch her swing. She's not someone who's going to love going way left to right, but that's kind of where she's forced herself with the way that the lanes have been broken down. All right, Karen Marcano down 39 pins, and she starts this game off with a strike. See if she can cut into the lead a little bit. She made a ball change, and good break on the Brooklyn. That's just one of the frustrating things about bowling. Someone can throw Brooklyn, and then you throw that shot and get 9. And working on the strike costs you 20. And half your lead's gone. Shot there from Zverev, and she's still trails by 19, even this game. Dina Buxton's just bowled a nice, clean game here. And I was just going to say, I think as this match goes on, the way they've broken the lanes down, it favors her shape.
Thought that was a good shot.
But they're just tearing up the middle part of the lane, which on a pattern this flat, it doesn't have a lot of help already. It's just pretty to watch.
Shan O'Mac. Two players with Nebraska ties. A single pin there for Zverev.
Marcano goes back to the ball she was using before. A little weaker.
That was the best shot, certainly of that game for Dina.
So 204 for Dina. Big 10th frame coming up for Daria. McCarthy jumping all over that missed 10 pin with a double.
Bjerg's missed a couple single pins, and essentially the difference.
Yeah, she moved back to the right, if you notice there, and there's just nothing there. They burned up to the left, and now the outside's still fresh, and that's just not the move. And we were just talking about, her comfort zone isn't to go left to right, which is kind of where she's going to need to play at this point with the way the lanes have been broken down.
Nice shot there from Marcano. Maybe using 2 balls.
Yeah, that's a good spare.
That's a huge spare. I feel like her fill shot's the most important.
Oh yeah, she's definitely going back and talking, having a conversation with John Van Hees. Yeah.
Most important fill shot of round 1.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what she tries here. I think the ball she's throwing is okay. I think she just needs to take a step left to where she threw that last shot as O'Keefe shakes the 7 down. And just soften it up a touch and maybe go around it a little bit. Give it a chance to make it around the corner. Looks like that's exactly what she did. And
that's a good shot.
That's okay. I mean, just work with that.
Interesting. I talked to we had Liz Kolkinen, and she talked about the speed control element on this pattern, and sometimes if she needed to do exactly what you just described, she felt like she had to decelerate.
Yeah.
Just to feel like she was soft enough.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Shannon did. When she started to run into some trouble at the beginning of game 2, she just moved in a little bit, softened up, went around it, and now she's got everything.
Bjerg's bowled very well in this match. I think, just a couple of opens, really the difference right now.
Yeah, those 2 single pins she's missed is the difference in the match. Good break there from Marcano. I don't know if that was a rolled 2-pin. I think the head pin might have clipped it just a little bit. Dina Buxton makes a ball change, and looks like she's got a good look. We'll see what Daria does. If she can figure out a way to stay in the pocket and get the 10 out. She's gonna use that same ball.
Dina had a brief convo with one of her reps in that 10th frame as well. Or perhaps that ball change is a result of that conversation.
There it is. That's it right there. McCarthy spares up the 10 pin. Shannon O'Keefe bowled an 800 series in games 2 through 4 on day 2. Yeah, that's it. There it is. So Dina Buxton has a 45-pin lead going into this game. Made a ball change. Moved back to the right, which I'm not sure if that's the right move.
I'll tell you, if when Daria gets lined up, she can strike.
Yeah, she's lined up.
And and despite the difference, obviously, I think Dina probably knows that and should expect it at this point. I mean, she's going to have to strike to beat her, but at the same time, Dina's going to continue to need to make good shots and certainly stay out of trouble.
Well, she's got to know at this point, even though she's got a nice lead, that Daria's lined up, and making spares is not going to hold her off. Big shot here for Karen Marcano. Nice shot. She's throwing 2 different balls. Throwing a stronger ball in the left lane. Yeah, she's too far to the right. She needs to jump left. They've developed between second and third arrow, and now she's playing second arrow. That's just not going to work.
Stephania Cobo with the highest 2-game total so far. 514, 256, 258 in her match against Alicia Current.
Well,
this has been a well-bowled match.
Yeah.
And
not over yet.
No.
Karen Marcano can still shoot 279 for 698, which means O'Keefe would need 241 or better. And still got a lot of work to do to get that done. Shot there from McCarthy. She's driving the nail in the coffin. Oh. She's fighting. I mean, she. It's not her A game to go left to right and soft and twirl it. So her miss is going to be hard, but to get that break, that's huge.
I mean, it's just been a pure grind.
Yeah.
For her this game. And we talked about a few weeks back, just that. You mentioned it earlier, just kind of that. Just that professional game, that professionalism, that professional look. I mean, this is a to be a professional 3-game set no matter what happens from her.
That's a miss way in. So I mean, she's in the right part of the lane. Yes, like okay. She knew that was way in, and for that to lay off and leave a 4-pin, that's good news. But she's just not comfortable softening up her speed and letting it. She likes jamming it in there. This match just got really interesting. If O'Keefe,
Wow.
O'Keefe strikes here, best she can shoot 239, which means Marcano can go off the sheet and shut her out. Zabiric trying to keep her hopes alive.
It's an important shot. Important 2 frames, I would say, for Dina Buxton.
It doesn't look like she moved left.
That's a better shot, though.
Well, even if you're playing them wrong, if you throw it perfect, it'll strike. Oh, wow. Tripped 4, and now she can double in the 10th and shut out Shannon O'Keefe. Yeah, best Shannon O'Keefe can shoot 239. That would give her 697. If Karen Marcano goes off the sheet, she would shoot 698. So she needs all 3 in the 10th to shut out Shannon O'Keefe. Zabiric left a Greek church in the 10th, which is going to end her chance to win this opening round match. So Erin McCarthy will stay on in the winner's bracket, and Zabiric will move over to the contenders bracket. Quickly jump over to Kovalova. Good shot there. Uh-oh. It's got a hook. Oh, and it does. Wow.
She was in a roll-off last night.
Yeah, she was almost done. And now, 2 strikes away from sending the number 2 seed to the contenders bracket. Wow. Pretty shot. One more strike, and Karen Marcano will move on in the winner's bracket. If she gets 9, Shannon O'Keefe will have a chance to step up and throw all 3 strikes to send it to a roll-off. Anything less than 9, and Shannon O'Keefe can steal the match. What a great finish here to this match.
And a great start to the bracket.
Yeah. Unless you happen to be the loser of this match.
Of course.
strike here will move her on to the winner's bracket. Oh, it's way in. Oh, wow. Well, now Shannon O'Keefe will have a chance to step up, throw a double, an 8, and take this match.
3-6-9-10.
Big deep breath there. Good shot. Wow. Just left a couple of flat 10s on this lane the last 2 shots, but there was nothing flat about that one. And in one of our other featured matches, Erin McCarthy advances with a 687 to 612 win over Brianna Zabirick. So Karen Marcano finishes with 694. Shannon O'Keefe must strike here to have a chance to move on. Wow, what a great shot.
Early morning fireworks here at the National Bowling Stadium.
8 pins to win, 7 is a tie. We saw Karen Marcano get 6 on the field to give Shannon O'Keefe an opportunity. And trips the 4, and Shannon O'Keefe survives. What a great match. 697 to 694. And the number 2 seed will survive to the next round in the winner's bracket. And this one's going to come down to the 10th frame as well.
That was an impressive match overall. From start to finish, both looked pretty comfortable early, made moves. Karen threw 2 different balls the last game.
Yeah, it was just well bowled. It's a shame to have to see somebody lose, but that was just some good bowling by both players. Well, the good news is where she's playing, if she misses right, it's not going to wash out.
Other matches completed. Megan Kelly defeated Tish Johnson 685 to 678. Top seed Yenny Wegner will move on, defeating Shannon Sellens 665 to 612. And Stefania Cobo 725 out the gates. She will defeat Alicia Current, 2011 Queens runner-up. Deandra Asbeatty 640 for Jackie Carbonetto, shot 571. Lori Schmidt, the non-member senior player from Henderson, Nevada, the 1-pin victory over Tanya Rauman. Wow. 614, 613.
That's surprising because Rauman really whacked them yesterday on the fresh.
They'll get more after the Buxton shot.
Nice shot there. So that sets her up for the 10th frame.
Big shot.
Kovalova can shoot 259, and that would lock up the match.
Liz Johnson defeated Ida Anderson 770 to 751.
Wow.
Of course, those two were identical in score after 2 games, both shooting 235, 258.
What a tough way to lose.
And I was told that Ida Anderson left an 8-pin at some point. Looks like probably in the 6th frame, I'm guessing. Brutal. Oh.
All right, so Dina Buxton, her max score is 214. And that would give her 588. Daria, with the spare here, her max score would be 238. That would give her 567. So big 10th frame here for Kovalova to try to put some pressure on Dina Buxton to perform in the 10th. Gotta hook a lot. So spare and a strike will give Daria 227. And that would give her 556. So that means Buxton would just need 180 or better. And she's currently on a 194 pace. So just would need some good count in the 10th frame.
This one turned out to be quite the intriguing situation from, as you mentioned earlier, kind of the exact opposite of what O'Keefe and Marcano did from the start, which, you know, developed the lanes in the good way over on the other side and in a tough way, of course, here.
You know, I think Daria made the right move. She's just not comfortable. She needed to soften up just a little more. You saw her do it the first couple shots, but then her default mode is to go a little harder and more direct, and that just hurt her carry the rest of the game.
It's like if you feel you throw a couple good shots to kind of feel comfortable, and your body just kind of naturally gets back into comfortable mode, and then you do what you are used to doing.
Right. And with that ball, the as strong as that ball is, she needed to throw it. Look out. Okay, that's it. That's going to be enough. So Dina Buxton's going to advance. I mean, you saw the last shot she threw over there and missed a little right and it missed the head pin. I mean, but you already see on the board 182 and 180 was all she, 179 actually with Daria's fill was all she needed. So this match is over. Dina Buxton's going to advance, and Daria Kovalova, one of our top seeds, is going to move on into the contenders bracket. And long road for her if she's going to make the finals here. As you mentioned earlier, Emil, you lose that first match and you've got to win 10 to make it to TV.
Yes.
That's a long, long road. And especially after bowling so well the first 3 days. She led after the first day, continued to lead after part of the second day, and qualified third, and now she's lost her first match.
I tell you, and it may sound a little weird, but not really, but after getting to know Daria a little bit better this week, from media day and interviewing her the first couple of days after leading, I feel like she could do it simply because her personality, in a sense, like, will allow her to do something like that. Just you know, not too, not trying to get too caught up in anything she does, whether it's bowling well or not bowling well or losing a match. I feel like she could be able to just kind of take it one match at a time in that sense. And so funny to talk to and talking about, being famous for the week and different things like that. So I think her personality actually would help her in this sense. All right, other first round matches. Looks like just about everyone is done. One more match. Azarad Zetter and Ashley Galante finishing things up. Brenda Padilla advances, defeating Jennifer King 649 to 612. Again, advancing to the winners bracket. All winners, of course, continue in the winners bracket. All losers of these first round matches move into the contenders bracket. Stephanie Casey defeated Verity Crawley 586 to 580. Low scoring match. Missy Parkin defeats defeated Maria Jose Rodriguez 559 to 542.
Wow.
The opening round of our double elimination bracket competition. Winners, please turn in your recap to the bracket table.
That's about what was our match here? Kovalova Buxton.
Yes.
What was the score? What was the
It
final?
was 567 to 555.
So a little lower.
For our 11 a.m. matches.
All right, let's check it out. Yes, to that answer.
Okay. So we're going to stay on the air between matches here, and we'll just leave the stream going. You can watch the players get ready for our next round of matches. And we've got winners and contenders. 16 players will be going home after this next set of matches. And we'll have more coverage. 3 more matches in front of you here at 11. Practice will start 10 minutes prior. 11 Pacific, 10:50 a.m. Pacific for practice. But we'll leave the stream going. Might pick up some interesting conversations around the extra frame booth. Hopefully none by us. But you can just leave it running, and we'll be back with more coverage from the USBC Queens here at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. practice wrapping up here at the National Bowling Stadium. And we are still in the round of 64. We've got half of the players in the winner's bracket and half in the contenders bracket. In front of us here, all three matches on our featured pairs will be winner's bracket matches. We'll have Rocio Restrepo taking on Brenda Padilla. Yenny Wegner taking on Megan Kelly. And Erin McCarthy taking on Sharon Lehman Santoso. Some unbelievable finishes to matches in our morning round. None better than the Shannon O'Keefe-Karen Marcano match. Came down to the 10th frame. Great bowling by both players. Score was 697 to 694. Marcano had a chance to shut out O'Keefe with 3 strikes in the 10th. She got 2 and left it 3-6-9-10. Shannon O'Keefe stepped up and threw a double to steal the match. But just some great bowling there.
As a reminder to our bowling fans, again, no flash photography while the athletes are competing. The field of play is at the bottom of the stairs, and that still belongs to the athletes and authorized personnel only. Please do not enter the field of play for any reason. We do have an exclusive agreement with PBA and Extra Frame for the live streaming of all PWBA events. We ask that you do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, bowling fans, pick out your favorite athlete and cheer her on. Ladies, our arrows are up. You have a full set of pins. How about a great send-off for the athletes on their quest to royalty in the 2018 USBC Queens. Good luck, ladies.
All right. That is PWBA Director of Operations Tennille Milligan, new USBC Hall of Famer and former Queens champion, sending the ladies off into battle. And we'll be joined by Emil Williams Jr. here in just a moment. Rocio Restrepo taking on Brenda Padilla. You can check out the bracket on pwba.com or bowl.com. And Restrepo gets us underway with a strike. And if you remember, this is the pair that yielded some pretty high scores in our opening round between Karen Marcano and Shannon O'Keefe. So I would expect the scores to be pretty high here in this round as well. Brenda Padilla advanced over Jennifer King in the opening round, 649 to 612. Restrepo took care of Brandy Baranka, 653 to 579. And both players starting off with strikes here in the opening frame. Over on 53 and 54, Yenny Wegner taking on Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly was able to defeat Tish Johnson in the opening round. And that was a tight match, 695 to 678. Wegner took down Shannon Sellens, who we saw in a roll-off yesterday, 665 to 612. was also her birthday yesterday. And she was the qualifying leader. And she spares the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Keep the match even early. And our first look at Erin McCarthy here. We saw her in the opening set of matches on one of our featured pairs. McCarthy defeated Brianna Zabirick 687 to 612. Sharon Lehman Santoso took down Kaisa Wagner 676 to 561. Kaisa Wagner is Yenny's younger sister. Looks like Rocio's picking up right where O'Keefe and Marcano left off. I'm sure, no doubt, had someone scouting this pair and knew exactly where to play, and this pair should be pretty high scoring. Remember, this is the pair that Dina Buxton took on Aria Kovalova, and I would imagine these players will have a little more trouble striking on this pair. Even though Erin McCarthy did bowl on the pair next to this one in the opening match, so she got to see firsthand how those players were breaking the lanes down. And she's also a player that likes to go left to right, which is kind of what it seemed like was going to be the trick on this pair.
Shot there from Lehman Santoso. I believe it was last year. Top 16 at the World Cup.
See early on this pair, it looked like to me the player with more axis rotation would have a better look on 49 and 50, the way that the lanes have been breaking down. In this case, that would be Rocio Restrepo. But Brenda Padilla's got a lot of tricks up her sleeve to be able to strike when she needs to. She's obviously can strike because she's the all-time record doubles holder at the USBC Open Championships with her husband Steven. Oh, it slaps the 10.
unsure of how many events Sweden will ultimately end up bowling. I think I saw them at least in the within the next 3, maybe one more at minimum. And you know, if I had to guess, perhaps the U.S. Women's Open. But situation where, you know, if Jenny Wegner, depending on what happens this week, and obviously could bowl a majority or at least a fair share of events. Well, we've been talking about breakout players for most of the season, and she's obviously one of them. I mean, what do you think makes her kind of so good in a sense? Yesterday we talked about just comparing styles, and you know, younger players today seem to have higher rev rates and whatnot. But I mean, power, to me, able to use her length to her advantage, which is something I never really learned to do. But yeah, I mean, what makes her so good to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the power game. I mean, you know, it's an advantage to have more power these days, and it should be in every sport. But yeah, definitely the power game. She never gives up. You know, the thing that was interesting when we saw her in Vegas, she struggled the first round, and she never gave up. She just kept coming and ended up making it into the final 12, right? I mean, so she's got the will to succeed. She's got a great physical game, and she's 24. So youth never hurt anybody.
Nice jersey from Brenda. Pretty solid.
Oh!
Pretty solid shot too.
Yeah, I think this match is going to be a carry contest. Saw Rocio miss the pocket in the 5th, but she actually missed right early in the ball. Grabbed the lane, and Megan Kelly's not going to be able to afford to make a lot of mistakes like that against Jenny Wegner.
Well, in this setting, if you make a mistake, you've got to immediately retool, refocus, throw it out the window. See Josie Barnes already off the front 5. She shot 267 to come from behind and win her first round match.
Strepo high the last 2 shots, so looks like she's already going to have to be making a move left. And interestingly enough, the shot that she went high in the previous frame, she got it right quick, but that one looked like it was over target and went high, which tells me that she just needs to make a move left. Stone 9 there from Wegner on a double. Giving Megan Kelly some hope.
Heck of a shot. I think Bro was a little curious if that her ball was going to chop or take the 4 off the 7 there.
It's always a frustrating break.
It is. I can recall actually bowling the Open Championships here. I took the 4 off the 7 3 times.
Wow. That's
3 times.
telling you something. Hey, buddy, you need to start hooking it at that spare.
and at the time, the way I was releasing the ball, there was a slight backup. And so it would be online until the end of the pattern, and
Yeah.
then it would back up.
Nice.
And 3 times it did it. I'm like, okay.
There's the move. And pretty close. McCarthy jumping on that open frame by Lehman Santoso. Back over to McCarthy looking for a turkey.
Wow.
She liked that one. Didn't look like she liked that shot very
No.
much, but
That's a good result. Which way does the mind go sometimes when you see that? That's a shot that she pretty clearly to me didn't like, but it held.
it's you want to go dance. You throw one you don't like and it strikes. I mean that's only could be good news, right?
Could it ever be detrimental in a sense where you get a false read, perhaps? Or you make a move and perhaps it's the wrong move based on the good result on the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, really good players know, they're honest with themselves.
Right.
So they know when they didn't throw one good. I mean, the thing of really good bowlers, the way their mind works is they throw shots and they just gather the information, right? So they know if they've missed a little right and the ball makes it back, if you're talking about a right-hander here, they've got room to the right. And then if they miss a little left and it doesn't hold, they know, hey, I can't miss left. So every miss is going to be to the right. And so sometimes you have room both ways, and that just loosens everything up. But you'll see players actually make small physical adjustments based on where they know they can miss. So, you know, if they know they can miss right and get away with missing right but not left, they might open the shoulders up a little bit and just make it impossible for them to miss left. And that's what great players are looking for. And then as the tournament goes on and as the games go on, those keys start to become ingrained into the shot making. So it's like, hey, I need a strike here. I know I'm going to get this one right.
Tendencies.
Yeah. It's almost like, have you ever thrown rocks at a small target, and if you miss a little bit one way, you're going to break a window? If you think, don't miss at the window, you're going to break the window every time. I've broken a few windows.
The answer to that question for me is actually no. But not necessarily rocks. I mean, I've thrown footballs. They didn't break the window.
We used to play a game during lunch called Idiot Key Hockey. And the way Idiot Key Hockey works is that you take your car keys and you try to throw them as high as you can on the edge of the building without throwing it on the roof. And whoever gets it the highest without going on the roof wins.
How many ended up on the roof?
A lot. Yeah, the janitor hated us. But it's kind of the same principle here. You know, the edge of the roof might be 10 board or it might be 11 board, and so you just tell yourself, well, I'm going to hit 11. And you don't say I'm not going to hit 9. You say I'm going to hit 11, and which is a positive reinforcement.
For those of you scoring at home, Shannon O'Keefe will be in the 270s here in game 1 of her match with Cassandra Luthold. Josie Barnes, again, mentioned shooting 260. To come from behind and win her match against Brittany Brown, off to a good start. 5-bagger, split, 3-bagger.
Yeah, but Luthold's shooting 250, so Shannon's like, hey, can I just get a break here? Can I get an easy match? Wow. You know, this was probably a good pair for Erin McCarthy to hit this game because, you know, she likes to go left to right. The players played a little further left on this pair than they did before. I think Lehman Santoso probably likes to set them up a little further to the right. So I think this is a good draw for McCarthy. Padilla and Restrepo, pretty much a dead heat. They'll be even if Padilla can make the 10-pin. Shot there. Back over to Megan Kelly, looking for her first double. Cut into Yeni Wegner's lead. Oh, wow. Stone 9 gets messengered out. Nice. That was pretty shape right there. It's going to be a good match. I think this one's going to come down to the end of game 3.
Big double. And the 10th there for Brenda. She'll be in the 230s.
Yeah, just a good solid game. Every shot in the pocket. Got some highlights over on the PWBA Facebook page. Liz Johnson's match versus Ida Anderson. And we won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen who won that match.
I will say I mentioned that, well...
I will say 751 lost.
I mentioned an 8-pin. But it was just later in the... it was later in the most inopportune time in that particular match. But speaking of that, Guess what Liz Johnson shot first game, second match? She shot 770 in the first match.
I'm 279.
Close.
Yeah.
290.
Well, and I don't know if I said this on the air, but she's bowling on the pair that Daria and Jordan Richard bowled on, which to me would say, well, that's not a good pair for her to be on. And she's bowling a lefty, Amanda Fry. So I said, well, if Liz is set up to lose a match, this is probably it from a condition-wise. And she shoots 290, so that's not good news for everybody else.
Well, you said it on the road show, folks. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out on Bowl TV and the PWA Facebook page. Big shot there in the 10th for Megan Kelly. Huge to stay within a good distance there of Yeni. But Liz Johnson and Majors.
Yeah.
Don't really need to say much after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going out on a limb, but
No.
back in the late '90s and early 2000s, I'll take Tiger Woods against the field.
Right.
That's about where we are.
Ten majors, including 2 wins at this event in 2009 and 15.
Yeah, she was second last year after leading.
Push. Too much. Good shot. Padilla's gonna have an early lead here. Rocio.
Yep, 14-pin lead for Brenda Padilla, 236 to 222. Erin McCarthy with a 20-pin lead over Sharon Lehman Santoso. And Megan Kelly with a spare will be 13 pins back of Yeni Wegner.
Pretty strong here.
Yeah, I like her chances on this, especially on this pair and with who she's bowling. I mean, Brenda's going to hit the pocket all match long. It's just a matter of carry. Megan Kelly can strike. She bowled the first 300 game of the season back in Las Vegas. But she can also mix in the occasional 160.
The trends have been pointing upward for her this season so far. I think certainly making match play here is a big boost to the confidence. Already won 1 match and an opportunity really to possibly take down the top seed. She too hitting the 1-3. Restrepo first shot, game 2. High flush.
Yeah, I think that match there, Restrepo and Padilla, is going to be about is Rocio's ball reaction ever going to get to the point where she's, you know, maybe leaving a few splits? Her carry percentage is going to be better, but are they going to transition and force her, you know, to maybe leave a big 4 here and there, or maybe make a move in 2-8-10? I don't think Brenda's ball reaction is going to read. It's just going to be a lot smoother and more predictable, but the question is she going to carry? Pin doesn't go. She missed that one a little bit. That was pure. Just a little soft. A little soft with the speed on that one. And a little fast. Interesting, you saw Yenny look down just to make sure she slid in the right spot. You know, sometimes it's hard to tell, you know, if you threw it a little bit harder. We don't have, you know, Specto up there to tell you exactly what happened on that shot, but you know, she's just doing the due diligence of looking down, making sure she slid in the right spot, that she didn't drift. You know, because you might drift 2 boards and feel like you threw a good shot, 2 boards from, you know, deviating from where you normally would have slid, and you know, if you look down and double check it, you can verify what happened on the shot, and that's all she was doing there.
Nice double.
Yeah, she's not going away.
I mean, she's certainly lined up. Maybe not as good of a look as Aaron so far. Heck of a shot again from Megan Kelly. She's thrown 2 really good shots on the right lane. And just a 10-pin away from the 3-bagger. Padilla.
That was her first bad shot. That just was way in. What? Leaves a makeable spare. That's a way in. Gets away with it. Little smile. Little wry smile.
The shot you saw to the right was O'Keefe. She went 3-bagger, or front 3, excuse me, pocket 7-10, 3-bagger.
That's in. Wow. Just lays off and strikes.
You mentioned Luthold after O'Keefe did shoot 279, and then Cassandra ended up shooting 233. But she too with 5 out of 6 with an open in the second frame.
She's not going away.
This will be a good match, of course, as we move forward. Jada King with the front 6. And on 65 and 66, taking on Brandy Branca in the winner's bracket match.
I think that's a loser's bracket match.
I was just
contenders
thinking.
bracket match. Yeah,
My apologies.
it's okay. I made a mistake on our show the other day. My one for the year.
Me too.
Man. Yeah, she got all of that one. Sio has nice technique for her spare shots.
Sees it all the way through, too.
Yeah. Doesn't take anything for granted. Erin McCarthy, high and light her last two shots. So looks like maybe a move will need to be made here pretty soon. Back. That match is still up for grabs. All of them are in front of us. They're definitely starting to hook here on 49 and 50.
All of a sudden, Lehman Santoso now with a four-bagger. A good lane for Kelly. Thinks she missed a little left.
Yeah, but maybe she should look there.
That's a good lane.
But I think that's where you're talking about the information that you're gathering, and she's learning, hey, my miss can be left.
She missed left on the left lane the previous shot and held and let the 9-pin.
Yeah. And I think that's what she likes to see. You know, the way she throws it with her, she has lower axis rotation, or higher axis rotation, and you might even say spins it a little bit. She's going to like having some hold. She doesn't have that much hold, though.
EP looking for a first strike here. Shooting .236 game one.
It's pretty. Probably thinking about the ball change maybe. I would think that, you know, as long as Rocio doesn't put up a big string of strikes here, she's going to stick with that ball and try to get a look at something else in the fill ball. But it's coming.
Two front nines. Also, Jen King and Stefania Cobo. Not bowling each other, though.
And they're pretty far apart. Right?
Cobo is on 24.
Yeah.
King over on,
Poor Jason McEwen.
she's on 65.
Garcia looks like she's just kind of decided she was going to throw it a little harder so she can stay in the same zone.
Yeah, she started to fire it a little bit about 2 frames ago.
Makes sense. It's a you know, pattern's a little bit on the shorter side. You don't want to jump left. We never saw anybody all week jump left and throw kind of the hockey stick shape. You know, you wanted to stay as far right as you could. Never saw anybody left of, definitely not left the 4th arrow, but really not too much further left than 3rd arrow, even on the burn all week. High, hard one.
Nice shot there from Rowe.
Wow. Well, that match just got really interesting.
Starting to labor just enough down lane. O'Keefe going to shoot 260 plus here after shooting 279.
Yeah, she's just, nobody wants any part of her.
King 289 for the 2nd time this season. Nice shot. Ball had a bit more bounce down lane off the spot. Amanda Fry with a nice comeback after Liz shot 290 out of the first game. Liz goes 202. And Fry shoots 268.
Wow. About that. Liz is probably thinking, hey, what do I got to do here? 750 shot at me in the first match, and her reputation precedes her. People know they got to
You got to
shoot
strike.
the big numbers. You're gonna have a chance against Liz.
You know, I mean, Liz Johnson's going to get everyone's best shot. Shannon O'Keefe's going to get everyone's best shot. Kelly's going to get it. Danielle.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way to beat those players is you've got to bring it.
Kelly and Danielle actually bowling each other.
Yeah,
this
when I was
round.
writing the names down, I said, ooh.
Yeah, that's a great match. Great shot there from Rocio.
It's early, but that's the kind of match where you say, okay, you know, the winner of that match could easily win a couple more
Yeah,
and find themselves in great position to be on the show.
yeah.
That's got a
A
hook.
hook. Yep.
I'll be stealing my words, bro.
There's a great story about one of the all-time classic sports calls in history. Back when Jack Nicklaus won the 86 Masters, he made a putt on the 17th hole that Vern Lundquist called, and it was kind of this double breaker putt that everybody had missed all day. Good break there, breaking up to 710, and he needed it to get himself into the lead, and he hits the putt, and Vern Lundquist goes, maybe, and then lets it go for a couple more feet, and it goes in, and Jack Nicklaus raises the putter, and he says, yes, sir! And it was one of the great calls of all time. But a couple holes before that, Nicklaus made a putt for an eagle back on the 15th hole. And Ben Wright, who was a well-known golf announcer at the time, made the exact same call when he made that eagle putt. And so for years, Ben Wright would always tell Vern Lundquist, hey, you stole my call, bro. I don't know if he said it in that way, but he's British. But got a hook. Yeah, she's running into some transition. Might need to take a little step left. Which is weird because Lehman Santoso seems to have a pretty good look from even further to the right.
Yep. Which is where Buxton moved to in the third game, but like you said,
it didn't look good.
It did not. And good, variety of factors could be release, style, ball, etc. Shot.
Yeah, I think she might have made just a kind of a subtle hand position adjustment to get that ball to go through the pins right.
Yeah, it is reading that spot down lane, and it actually looks, visually further right at the break point, and but no hesitation to make the move in corner.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Rosillo's fighting it a little bit, which, I mean, she's still got a good look, and still right there in the match, but she's kind of forcing what she's got to
Looks
work.
like she's got to do more at the moment in comparison to what Brenda hasn't changed much.
Right. Be curious to see what they do on the fill balls, to see what looks they're gonna, what they want to see basically. Because I think they're both on the verge of having to make some kind of big move.
Comparison to where she was in the right lane and previous shots on the left lane. That one was in. Speaking of Brenda.
Looks like Erin made a move there a little bit to the left. McCarthy can still shoot 221 this game. That would put her at 32 over after 2. Lehman Santoso can shoot 258 this game. That would put her at plus 49, so still a pretty close match. Shannon O'Keefe just off to our right, flirting with an 800 series. She's got 545 for 2 and double 9 spare. Megan Kelly trying to hang around in this match. Big 10th frame for her. Nice shot. Can go off the sheet for 203.
Drives the 8-pin back.
Go. Didn't matter, it was a fill ball, but don't want to give a pin away, especially if you are trying to make it.
That's About the only thing that Aaron's had any miscues on today. Missed a couple single pins. Push.
It's not going to be too disastrous. Coming on the second shot of the 10th.
Big 10th there for Sharon.
Wow. Man, that's brutal.
That was a huge opportunity
Yeah,
right
she
there.
strikes out there and she takes a nice lead. Now it's going to be basically an even match. Wagner can take a big lead with a couple strikes in the 10th. We'll get her finish here in a second. She just, that's the trouble with fighting it. As she's got to creep left, now she's going to have to bring her speed back down, increase her axis rotation a little bit. I guarantee you on her fill shot we're going to see a softening of that speed and a little bit of the change in the shape. It's a big hit there for Wagner to carry. She can shoot 246. She'd have a big lead. Get her to plus 49 for the match. Yeah, doesn't carry, but she'll be in the 230s. She'll still have a nice lead. Megan Kelly 380 for her first two. No, she did. She basically looked at the same thing. So 225 for Restrepo. And that gives her 447. Padilla can go off the sheet for 234, and that would put her at 470. So big 10th frame here for Brenda. McCarthy and Lehman Santoso already in game 3. 5-pin match. Nice shot there.
Nice bounce back. Didn't even let it phase her.
Over on 53 and 54, Wagner and Kelly about to start game 3, and Wagner has a 56-pin lead in that match. Brenda trying to extend her lead by another 10 and snaps the 10 out. Back over to Erin McCarthy with the ball change. Indeed. Flat 10. Final shot at game 2 here from Brenda Padilla. She can shoot 234. And 232. And Still have a 21-pin lead going into game 3, so a lot can happen.
Nice high flush shot there from McCarthy over to Jenny Wegner. Carry the 7. Megan Kelly is going to need a big game here to give herself a chance to put a little pressure on Jenny. Go through some of the matches we see here in just a sec. No 8-10 on that one.
No, just nothing but flush. It's getting late early in this match. Back over to Padilla. Starting game number 3 with a flush strike.
Great adjustment in game 2 from Brenda. Seven-pin match, excuse me, the shot there. 7-pin match between Stephanie Johnson and Shannon Pluhowski. 2 longtime Team USA teammates.
And Kelly Kulik has a 60-pin lead over Danielle McEwen midway through game 3.
Right now it's a 40-pin lead for Pluhowski. But Pluhowski on a 5-bagger, Johnson on a 6 or a 7-bagger.
Wow. It's a good match going on with Ashley Galante and Carolyn Doran Ballard. 1-pin match going into game 3. Ashley with a small advantage through 4.5 frames. Erin McCarthy with the chance to get 10 pins back here with a double. That was pretty.
Best shot since that ball changed, certainly.
Garcia will step back and reset, and Jenny Wegner ready. trying to put this match away. Shot. Little smile there. Swing starting to loosen up.
Yeah, she looks pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Shannon O'Keefe will not shoot 800, but she will win her match. She only got 780 left, so she's struggling. Came out of that one a little bit. And Cleveland Santoso just converts the 2-4-5 after McCarthy steps up and throws a turkey. So that match is a dead heat. Putting the hammer down.
That's how you do it.
Oh!
I love her smiles after each shot, depending on the result. Boy, Brianna Cote, we're all over Missy Parkin.
Messenger just for good measure. Only thing left to decide in that match is if Jenny Wegner can shoot 300. Shannon O'Keefe finishes with a big 782 to take down Cassandra Luthold. One of Extra Frame's favorites, clearing Deadwood.
Oh. Fantastic.
Have to mark that time down for the boys to add it to their collection. All right, this match, I don't know what to say about it. It's a toss-up.
It is. It looks like we're kind of back to game one in a sense.
Brenda's starting to see some early hook. just when you think she's going to swing the match in her direction. Goes high. I don't know if that was her or the lane. I think there's going to have to be some moves made here down the stretch in the Restrepo-Padilla match. Someone who's not going to have to worry about that is Jenny Wegner. And she just got it all going. Spare there on the 4-pin, but as she walks back, she's thinking about what move needs to be made. They're starting to hook. Shot there from McCarthy, but flat 10s. Now can Wegner keep her string going? And okay, I guess she can just throw it anywhere. Rolls a 2-pin, then Brooklands for the front 8. Ball change. Restrepo.
Liked it.
Yeah, that was a good ball change.
There's Rowe.
Well, you could see it. You knew, and oh, look out. Wow. Big mistake there from McCarthy.
It's been a rare bugaboo today for her. I believe that's at least 3.
She is
Single pins.
not happy with herself. Let's see if Padilla makes a move. I don't know. She was on borderline. High flush on the last shot on 49. Looks good. But yeah, they're just starting to hook. They are starting to hook, Mr. Williams.
Good thing there's a re-oil coming.
Well, it's not going to help them for
Right.
this match.
Kelly Kulik shot 258. Want to defeat Danielle McEwen. Nice 737.
Well, she got the 8 out. Well, Brenda's going to need to do something here because I think she saw that Rocio made a pretty nice ball change, and you'd have to assume she's going to be either off the sheet or maybe one miss. And Brenda with the 21-pin lead is going to have to do something to keep up. Let's go back over to Wegner, working on the front 8, front 9. That one actually was decent. She kind of nodded in agreement. That's a good shot
Good
there.
shot.
It's like she maybe just picked up the ball speed just a touch.
Oh. Talk about early hook.
Yeah. that's not the time you want to see it. right at the end of the match when it's close. Well, you can't strike every time. That's the only hit I can't carry.
Nice game. Nice match. Nice set for Yenny.
Didn't make the ball change on that lane, but I think she's probably going to need to. Wagner finishes with 277 and shoots 713. She'll advance. One more winners bracket round here today, and the winners of that match will advance to tomorrow, have the rest of the day off. Nice shot there from McCarthy. Huge shot coming up here from McCarthy. And Restrepo, this is the lane that she made the ball change on previously. Looks good. That ball looks good. I'm curious to see if she makes that ball change on the right lane as well.
Literally working to kick that 10-pin out.
Huge shot here from McCarthy. If she strikes here, she can't be shut out. That's way in.
Whoa.
Takes the count. And McCarthy, best she can shoot is 204, and that would give her 626, which would mean Lehman Santoso would need 210 or better. So it just needs good count and marks in the 9th and 10th to lock up this match.
Nice shot. Trying to master the puzzle. Seeing that early hook, seeing some hook, and where she didn't want it.
There's one mark. And now just a mark in the 10th.
Quality. Looks back to one of her coaches.
Needs a spare and 7, does Lehman Santoso, to lock up this match.
Maybe the best shot of this game from Brenda.
Yeah, that was a great adjustment that she made. Just picked up the ball speed a little bit and allowed her to stay in the same ball. Spare and 7 for Lehman Santoso, and she will move on in the winner's bracket. She looks up and is like, hey, they're going to make me work for it. And looks like Rocio is going to go with that ball change on this right lane. Huge shot here for her. Down 21 going into this game. Padilla has a turkey. Rocio has to strike to keep up. Yeah, that was the right move. I'm not sure why she didn't. And she's asking herself the same thing. Why she didn't do it one frame earlier. Here's the spare, and now 7 pins. Knock off Erin McCarthy. And man, that's when you just kick yourself about missing that spare. If you're Erin McCarthy. Makes that routine 10 pins, and she's still in the match. Huge shot here for Restrepo.
A little reaction here if she does strike.
Yeah. You think? Nice call.
And the only row way possible.
And that'll do it. So Sharon Lemon Santoso moves on in the winner's bracket, and Erin McCarthy will move to the contenders bracket. Strike here for Padilla, and she would just need a mark to close out this match. But anything less, and she's going to need a double or more. Okay.
Quickly, other matches. Ashley Galante defeats Carolyn Doran Ballard in the winner's bracket. Mitchell Kulik defeating McEwen in winner's bracket. Clara Guerrero defeated Sandra Anderson in the winner's bracket as well.
Whoa, man. Wow.
It is that close sometimes.
I gotta go to decaf, I think. Man. All right, here's the situation. So Brenda Padilla can go off the sheet for 228. That would give her 696, and that would be enough. Rocio Restrepo can strike out for 239 and shoot 686. So double here for Padilla. If she goes strike spare, there could be a tie. That hook, it does. So one more strike and Brenda Padilla will remain in the winner's bracket. If she misses, Rocio Restrepo will have a chance to move it into a roll-off or possibly win if Padilla opens. That's in. Wow, good break there. You know, we saw it in the match on this pair in the previous round. Karen Marcano had a chance to close the door on Shannon O'Keefe, gave her a slight opening, and Shannon O'Keefe able to step through the door. Now Rocio Restrepo will have a chance to tie or win, depending on if Brenda Padilla can clean up this spare.
Hold on.
No! And now Rocio Restrepo can win the match outright with 3 strikes. So Brenda Padilla, 685. Rocio Restrepo can shoot 686 with 3 strikes in the 10th frame. And this is the last match, and it is dead quiet, and everybody is watching. Don't think she loved it off her hand, but she's got the right ball in her hand.
That was probably a washout, the other ball.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, maybe bounced a little bit, but
She probably didn't want to use up that much energy, but she knew she got away with that one, and she was excited. So now just kind of regroup, get yourself back at an even keel. I mean, we could still very easily have a roll-off here. Strike 9 and it would be a roll-off. Got a hook. Oh,
Wow.
it just gets back. And she's thrown the double, now just needs a strike to move on in the winner's bracket. Must be something about this pair. Had 2 unbelievable matches.
I mean, obviously, just important to throw the best shot possible, which, certainly could be difficult in this type of situation. Karen leave the 3, 6, 9, 10.
Yeah.
She had that opportunity.
Well, I think she's still amped up from that first one. I think she threw that one a little fast because she didn't quite get her heart rate down. Maybe had a little bit of adrenaline going and almost threw that one through the spot. Strike advances in the winner's bracket. 9 will have a tie and a roll-off. Anything less than 9, and she loses. It's in, and it lays off. 10-pin carries, and Rocio Restrepo advances in the winner's bracket by 1 pin.
Well, unbelievable.
I think the fans got their money's worth. What a great match.
2 matches on that pair where the losers of both, I mean, you just hate to see, and neither one deserves to lose in that situation.
Yeah, it was great bowling by both players, but I think we said it was going to come down to the 10th frame. We just kind of saw it coming, and a lot of great subtle adjustments coming down the stretch. Rocio Restrepo makes a ball change there and throws the back 6. So she will advance in the winner's bracket. We'll have a short break here for Reoil. We'll break the stream. Hope you enjoyed the coverage of the first 2 rounds here from the USBC Queens. And we'll be back at 2 p.m. Pacific time with more coverage here at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Emil Williams and Jason Thomas. Wow, some great action here this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Pacific time.